Oh. Hi guys. Blake and Talon here today with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful upper Lake Taneycomo. It is some day of the week. Friday. It is Friday, June the 4th, and we are going to do the one cast for you today. Oh, so today we've boated up here. We are just below Andy Williams's flat. I'm throwing a 1/32 ounce brown and peach with an orange head on 2-pound line, and Talon has a,
I got 1/32 ounce.
1/32, no, let me see that. That looks like a 16th to me. 16th ounce brown head with sculpin feathers on 2-pound line. So let's see, it's a beautiful day here on the lake. It hasn't quite hit 80 degrees yet. I'd say it's still, oh, that was a fish. Oh my gosh, come on, get it, get it, get it, get it. I'd say it's about 75 degrees right now. Partly cloudy, not very humid. Just a beautiful day on the water. And nothing officially on the first cast. I'm gonna call that a miss on the first cast. I saw that fish roll and grab my jig. So an official miss. Some interesting stuff going on the water here. They are currently running 1 unit. They had it down below a half unit earlier. So what is happening is Beaver Lake is at its max. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, he came off. Better check that hook. Beaver Lake is at its max flood pool. Bull Shoals is maxed out right now, and the tailwater below Bull Shoals on the white is also really high. So they are using Table Rock as a holding ground, and they are running minimum water out of Taneycomo right now. So even though Table Rock is 5 foot above its power pool, we are seeing some really slow flows here until they get the White River emptied out a little bit and Beaver down. There's one. I had a bite on each cast there. Come here, buddy. So we gone with these lighter jigs now that the water's running slower. Whenever you're jig fishing out here, you always want to match the fall of your jig kind of with the speed of the current, because the trout like it to fall a certain way. That one's nice and pretty. There he goes. And so my rule is that up to 1 unit of water, you can get away with using a 1/32 ounce jig. Sorry, can't talk right now. We're doing it right now.
Love it. I watch you on YouTube.
We're doing the video right now.
Oh, cool. One cast?
Yep.
I'll be on it.
Had a one cast fan there. So I always like to go with a light as jig as possible. I find that the trout seem to, for the most part, like that slower fall. It can't fall too slow, but it's just got to be right there in the sweet zone. And 1 unit for me is still slow enough to throw a 1/32 ounce jig, so that's what I like to do. And I favored this north bank over here on the inside bend where the water's moving even maybe just a little touch slower than 1 unit. Hey Talon, will you do me a favor? Will you raise the motor up out of the water? We're gonna drift over some shallow stuff. Ooh, I had another bite. So it's that time with the low water to pay attention to where you're driving on the lake. The last month and a half with the floodgates running and the heavy water, you haven't had to really worry about that, but We're getting back to where our gravel bars and shoals are going to be somewhat shallow, especially with one unit running. So make sure I raise my motor up for the spots where we drift over. Oh, that jig is gone. I got plenty of jigs in those two boxes right there on the side compartment of my tackle box. You can get 1/32 ounces, the small one, or the big one has the bigger sizes. Let's see, plenty of good fishing reports from this morning. Captain Dwayne had a trip this morning. They actually said that up right by the dam, they were throwing the 639 Signature Series jerk baits on a drift rig. That is the smallest size that we offer. And even with that, oh, there's another fish. Even with that half unit flow, they said that they were crushing fish up there this morning doing that. And then they came below the trophy area because they wanted to keep some fish, and they caught their limits of fish on night crawlers. The Schaefers, who are staying with us right now, also went out this morning with that nice slow flow, and they were using night crawlers, and they came back with their limit of fish, and they caught a trophy 24¼ inch rainbow, about almost 5 pounds. Captain Rick Lysick was throwing the pink power worm under a float in the half unit flow this morning out of the trophy area down below Fall Creek, I think between Fall Creek and Short Creek, and they were catching some fish. Just about everybody I talked to this morning said that the fishing was pretty good with that nice slow flow, and it's not that much faster, but they have kicked it back up a little bit. I'm going to scoot us out here in the middle just a little bit more. We're coming up on the golf course right now, and this area is really shallow, and I kind of just want to get our jigs to where we're fishing them in some deeper water. I had big plans of coming out here and trying out some of our newer flies. We had somebody bring in a new one. It's kind of like a mop worm, except it's on a really tiny jig head, and it's just a little piece of a mop. And it looks like it'd do well. I was going to try that out today whenever the water was flowing that under half unit, but a little fast in my opinion to try it out today, so I'll have to wait for another day to do that. Talon here was getting off work yesterday and decided to fish off the dock a little bit and caught a, how big was it? 25½ inch?
Yeah, 25½ and 6.32.
6.32 pounds, 25½ inch rainbow off the dock using that sculpin jig that he had on a second ago. It's now donated to the lake. It did its work though, it caught a trophy. Oh, Talon's hooked up. What color did you go with, bud? Sculpin feathers, sculpin head. Yep. 1/32 ounce this time, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So lots of good fishing reports. I was talking with Captain Jeremy Rasnick, who they said they did really well on night crawlers this morning. But he was talking with somebody at the Corps of Engineers, and they were saying that we might suspect to see these lower flows for a while until they can get the lower part. I can't remember the name of the town there on the White River, but until they can get that section of the lake down to where they can start dumping bull shoals a little bit. So we might suspect to see some low flows for quite a while, and then once they get lake levels back to where they need, they'll release table rock here, and then we'll probably see the floodgates for a while again until they get table rock down. But for now, we can suspect to see some low flows for just a little bit, which will make the jig fishing good, and sounds like maybe dragging the really small jerk baits up in the trophy up near the dam and the fast water is working pretty good. I think the jig fishing is probably going to be pretty stellar while this water's moving like this. Hey, Talon's hooked up again. And I think I could have used some of those tiny micro style jigs today. I just would have had to set my fly rods up different. And I had one, and I already had them set up for the half unit flow. So we're also pretty busy sending boats out today, so I didn't have time to do a whole lot. I really wanted to go all the way up to the dam. We did not have time for that today. The floodgates were just turned off 2 days ago. I think these fish are still going to be looking for, they're going to be looking for some shad. They're going to be looking for the different types of bait fish they're feeding on. And I imagine that the sculpin fish will be out moving around. Oh, there he was right at the boat. This jig that I'm using is it's become one of my favorite colors. Oh my gosh, I'm just getting blown up. And he actually just about ate it. If I'd let him have it a second longer, he'd have swallowed that. But this peach and brown is a color that works really well sometimes. I just started using it last winter. I'd never fished this color before, but it seems to do pretty well. It's becoming one of my new favorites. Oh, there was another one. And the jig that Talon is fishing with, the all sculpin, is one of my all-time favorites. I use it all the time. Go for it. I'm going to turn around and fish the center of the lake here. Talon said he's going to switch over to a Signature Series 762 jerkbait. Try it. There he is. Oh! I about ate that jig. It almost hit me in the mouth. He was trying to return the favor. think Talon's got on the 762 Rainbow there. When you're throwing these 1/32 ounce jigs, a lightweight rod, the one I'm using is a lightweight 6 foot with the 2 pound test is kind of the preferred setup. It'll help you feel that little tiny jig the best. And we are just now entering the narrows here. Water's starting to get real shallow. This would definitely be the point where you wanted your motor raised up out of the water and your trolling motor even set on a shallower depth. There's one right there in front of the boat. Oh, he threw the jig too. Alright, we'll go for a second longer here. Now the water's probably not quite 3 foot out there. That'll dive to 3 foot or so. So you might want to give it an up jerk. There you go. The water's not very deep here, so even with these 1/32 ounce jigs, we're not having to let it sink very long before you can work it. I think we're about to call it a day. Fish are biting pretty good today for being 12:30 or noon. So we thank you guys for watching today. Like and share us on Facebook, and we will get out here and do it for you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys.